guess if you could find any silver lining, it might be that people will more likely choose when they're going to buy a new car to go to electric.
It's Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday being asked about gas prices and ultimately highlighting how it's not just an Illinois problem, it's not just a national problem, it's a global issue. And you've got inflation compounding, and then all of a sudden the Ukraine-Russia conflict and the war breaking out there. Now the U.S. is going to be blocking any kind of oil imports from Russia. You've got those on the domestic side saying we need to increase our exploration and open up pipelines and get domestic oil going. But you're driving by the gas pumps today, and you're seeing those record fuel prices. You're paying those record fuel prices. And I want to hear from you, 217-629-7970. Your reaction to Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday saying that there's a silver lining here when it comes to high gas prices. And in particular, he says the silver lining is that more of you are likely going to go out there and buy electric vehicles. Here's the governor's quote in its entirety yesterday when he was in Bloomington Normal for an unrelated event. But of course, gas prices came up as an issue that he wanted to address, and he was asked about. So here's what the governor had to say yesterday.
The rise in gas prices is a very unfortunate thing. I guess if you could find any silver lining, it might be that people will more likely choose when they're going to buy a new car to go to electric because it's much, much less expensive over the long haul of ownership. So I do think that there will be an increased number of purchases of vehicles, electric vehicles, and I hope that people will purchase vehicles that are made in the state of Illinois.
So again, that's Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday. I'll share with you some of the comments that were made by State Representative Blaine Wilhauer, somewhat in relation to that idea of, hey, let's be more green and just buy electric. I mean, gas prices are high. What do you think about that? 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Let's get right to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. I just wanted to let everybody know that the cheapest fuel I've found is $4.49 Casey's in Williamsville.
Oh my gosh, $4.49. Again,
Yep.
You know, there's websites you can go and find all of the gas prices that there are available all around Central Illinois. But I saw a friend share something just yesterday. He shared what gas prices were in Springfield, and then he shared what gas prices were in Chicago, and then he shared what gas prices were in Missouri. And in Missouri, gas prices are about 50 to 60 cents cheaper than in Illinois. And a lot of that has to deal with all of the taxes that Illinois has. Illinois has the 7th highest gas prices in the nation. When it comes to the gas tax, Illinois is the 2nd highest gas tax, I believe, and we're the highest in the region. So obviously it's going to really drive people who are close to the border of Illinois to just skip across to the other state to fill up. But your response to the governor saying that he believes the silver lining here is that you're just going to go out and buy an electric car the next time you buy a car. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
My problem is I can't afford the gas to go to work, and from Mason City to Springfield, I can't afford to go buy a new electric car.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm sure there are electric vehicles out there like $45,000 or so, but I haven't seen what the average price is, but they range from 60 to 80 to 100,000 plus. But I mean, don't you think your conscience wouldn't you feel better about the environment? Just go ahead and bite the bullet. Go buy an electric car.
I would, but we're coming off not having jobs during COVID, not just trying to get our credit back to a decent spot. You can't just go. I mean, I've been looking for a car for my daughter, even a used car. The prices are ridiculous. There's just no way it's going to fit in any kind of budget.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable. And again, this is a comment that the governor made. I appreciate the call. The silver lining here is these record gas prices. People paying $5 a gallon. If you're driving diesel, paying $4.50 a gallon. That's cheap now compared to what we're seeing out there on the billboards. But The governor says that, hey, the silver lining is that you can go out there and buy an electric vehicle. 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Good morning. This is just the liberal Democrat motto: never let a crisis go to waste. I mean, they use this crisis to ram through their socialist liberal agenda, just like they did with the school closings. Now that they open them back up, they're ramming a bunch of liberal CRT socialist agenda down our kids'
Well,
throats.
hey, the schools teachers union says CRT is not in the curriculum, sir.
It's by a different name. It's called SEL, and
what is that? Is that equity, inclusion, and diversity? Is that what you're talking about?
It's called social emotional learning, and it's basically CRT light. But my point is the same thing with the gas situation. It's like they create the crisis, and then they ram their political agenda down people's throats. That's exactly what's happening here. He could open up exploration. He couldn't have shut. He could have done things with pipelines. He could drill here in America. We could be energy independent. They don't want to be. They want to create a crisis so they can ram their political agenda down our throats. That's exactly what's happening, and it's happening all over the place. So this is what people voted for, and now they've got what they voted for.
Phone number 217-629-7970. We'll get to as many calls as possible here in this segment. Your reaction to the governor yesterday saying that, one silver lining is that you've got gas prices that are high, but that could mean more of a demand on electric vehicles. And he's like, hey, you've got electric vehicles that are being made here in Illinois. Just buy an Illinois-made electric vehicle. But hearing so far from the listeners, especially the woman saying she has to pay for gas to drive to Mason City, how is she going to afford that, let alone save to be able to get the credit needed to buy a new electric car? It's got an interesting dynamic there, and I'm getting your reaction. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Well, good morning, Greg. It's amazing that about 10 days ago you could get a gallon of gas for $3.59. Now, as of yesterday, it's $4.59 over Hy-Vee, so it's going up $1 in the last maybe less than 10 days. But the electric car thing, I did better than that. I went out and bought me an electric train set, and that way when I can't go anywhere, I can sit at home. And I might get me an electric slot car set too. Me and my grandkid we'd just sit at the table and just watch this little thing go around and around the table, because that's the only electric car anyone can afford.
Well, listen, I like your tongue in cheek sometimes, but I do want to hear some genuine responses here. By the way, Megan and I enjoyed that clean slate Riesling. It was pretty good. But regardless, listen, I want to hear from farmers. I want to hear from those construction crews out there who have to drive the heavy equipment. I want to hear from the truck drivers who are out there paying $5+ of gas for diesel. Are electric vehicles going to be able to take on the chores at the farm? Are the electric vehicles going to be able to take on the chores in an emergency? Are electric vehicles going to be able to tow everything that you need to get from the big box store you ordered online? 217-629-7970 is the phone number. Let's get to your calls. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Oh, hold on a second. I got to turn you up. Okay, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. I'm not a farmer or construction guy, but I'm in the automobile business. I have experience with the electric vehicle made in California. I actually installed a power pack in my home. Bishop, I want you to understand, my electric bill was double. So they're going to get it whether you're paying at the pump, whether you're charging it at your house. The only way you're going to get around it is charging, at a public spot, like a Shields here in town has a charging port.
But that, listen, I'm sure that'll change sometime. They'll connect some kind of credit card machine on that real quick.
No, and you're exactly right. They've done that in the bigger cities. I don't know the answer, but I do not see gasoline vehicles being completely wiped out.
Well, think about it. I mean, listen, if the power goes out for any prolonged period of time and you ran your vehicle out of miles, you're stuck. You think you're going to hook up a solar panel and charge your car in time to be able to drive to work, or to get your Tesla out and be able to drag a tree that's in the middle of a road blocking a hospital or something. No, it's gonna be a gas powered vehicle, a large vehicle that's gonna be doing stuff like that. So yeah, I appreciate the call and good perspective. 217-629-7970. Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday saying that silver lining with the high record gas prices is it may push people to buy more electric vehicles. Your thoughts? Good morning.
Bishop, tell me you saw American Idol last night.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since he's called in to ask me if I watched American Idol. Holy cow. Is that show even still on? I have absolutely no idea. I couldn't even tell you who's on that. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Too funny. That's great. As before, the caller says, you've got to get the power from somewhere, so they're going to get it to you one way or the other. But is anybody really taking a look at how they rank the standards on these things? You can see 200 to 300 miles, you see them advertised as. Yeah. But when you really dig into it, do you run the air conditioner? Yeah. Do you run the heater? Do you drive faster than 60 miles an hour?
Yeah, I was interested in the electric trucks because Ford had like an F-150 electric truck, and it said, hey, get 400 miles on one charge. And then I thought, well, what about towing? And if you tow, then it drops it down to like 100 miles or something like that.
Yeah, it'll suck it down. They'll take the Teslas from 200, 250 miles down to 150 miles if you run the air conditioner. Yeah. So you're not even going to get barely to Chicago if you're on a hot summer day. So
that's pretty incredible.
Good luck on that.
Yeah, appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Full phone lines. Good morning. Oh, that one's dead. Let's go to this one. You're on WMAY. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I looked up via the internet two electric trucks. So the F-150 has a towing capacity of 7,000 pounds, and you're exactly right. The mileage goes down significantly when you're towing. Now the Rivian that's made up in Bloomington has a towing capacity of 11,000 pounds.
Rivian is what's made in Bloomington.
Yeah. Rivian, but that truck is $67,000.
Right.
So it's probably along the same lines as a fully loaded 250.
Yeah, and I've seen one. I got a little bit of a tour of one at the Capitol, and it's great. I mean, it's got like a whole window on the roof, and it's got all these little compartments. You can have like a kitchen built into it that you just drag out of one of the wheel wells. It's really neat. But I don't know if it looks more like a luxury thing than a utility truck. And those utility trucks are going to be necessary on the farm. Yeah. Those utility trucks are going to be necessary for people hauling equipment.
And a long drive live experience that I picked up from my cousin's son, who owns a Tesla and lives in Atlanta, and drove from there to here. He had to stop every 200 miles to charge the vehicle. Jeez. And generally, and this was during the summer, so air conditioner running the whole bit. And generally where he stopped at was shopping malls or places like that. And he'd spend 45 minutes charging the vehicle. And he got up here. He's all excited. He told my cousin, he's like, didn't cost me a dime to drive up here. And my cousin said, okay, what'd you do when your vehicle is charging? He's like, oh, well, we go walk around the mall. He said, did you buy anything at the mall? He said, yeah, we bought some things. He said, it did cost you money to drive up there.
Right. But it also cost him time. I appreciate the calls. Got to take a break, everybody. We'll likely talk about this more because the headlines are that the forecast, gas prices will keep surging. Other headlines are that you've got some industry leaders saying that domestic production is the solution to rising gas prices. And executives say that suspending oil and gas lease auctions was the most damaging. You also have federal officials, not energy executives, behind soaring gas prices, a House panel's told. And 5 Democratic governors are looking to suspend the federal gas tax. So those are just other headlines here when it comes to gas. It is the WMAY morning news feed.